What's up, my people? How you doing? My name is Dalton, and this is my channel now. This is going to be what I call a snap update for May and June, as well as July 2026. All right, so let's do this. Now, before I begin, I'll ask you to, if you enjoy this video and my videos, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hype, and comment. All right, now this is gonna, like I said, it's gonna be about Snap. Okay, and I know it's been a while, but there's some confusion out there about this. All right, first of all, Snap has been funded till September 2026. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty much smooth sailing. You're gonna get your Snap. Okay, you're gonna get your Snap. You're gonna get your benefits. That's good. Okay, but there are changes, and there's an attitude out right now. Like, there was one guy talking about, you give me the check and you get my vote. You know, and I've had to deal when I had to try to explain certain things to people and let them know what's coming. I don't want to hear all that. I don't even want to go through all your video. Where's my money? That's all I want to know. No, it's not that like that right now. So that attitude needs to be flushed down the toilet stool with anything else that goes down it. Okay? Here's the deal. These are complicated times, and there are going to be changes, and you need to be aware of, you need to know how to take care of, and that attitude needs to flush down the toilet stool with everything else that goes with it. Okay, because if you're not on point and if you don't understand what's going on, you're going to come at the loss, and you're going to be sitting up here looking crazy because of all that you've lost financially. Okay, and just because something sounds good doesn't mean it's logical, legal, or right. So here's the deal. When it comes to Snap, for May, June, and July, everything is clear. Everything should be getting funded, all right? There are going to be some major differences. There's going to be work requirements put on you, okay? There's groups out there that even the person's not saying, but there's groups out there looking for anyone who's done any type of fraud with their Snap, and they're coming to get you. Okay? So when you get that white letter in the mail of changes, don't panic. Read it. If you can't read, get someone else to read it for you. Okay? But read it and understand that there are exceptions to the rules. So if your Snap is being cut down a load, or, or saying they're going to eliminate it, okay, you need to call your caseworker and talk to them and let them know your circumstances, because those exceptions to the rules could make everything go smoothly, and you keep getting your funds. You know, because a lot of people don't update people that they are now disabled of some type. They're going through therapy. They're in school, taking a class. They don't update. And these things are exception to the rules that can keep your funds coming in. Okay? Now, snacks, drinks, sweets, like that. Okay? by the end of the year. This is everything I'm telling you is part of the big beautiful bill that people just ignored. It's affecting you now. Just like it's affecting Medicaid, it's affecting SNAP. Okay. By the end of the year, they're trying to make it that all of the United States, whoever is getting SNAP, will not be able to buy sweets, okay, pop, anything like that, sugary cereal. You can buy cereal, but it ain't gonna be that sugary cereal. So snacks, anything like that, they're eliminated. And you hear it more and more. You got people complaining on TikTok. You got people complaining on YouTube. Okay? And yes, it's coming to a state near you, including your state. This is part of the big, beautiful bill. Trump has to cut all that out in order to use that money for something else he wants to use it for. Okay? The Republican is also behind him on this. So this is going to come to your state. Be aware. And the sad part about it is certain things are being cut. If you were in they could call it DV or abusive relationship and you got out, they're cutting the fact they're not going to give you SNAP anymore. You still can get it in a different way, but not because of the situation that you successfully are trying to escape. If you're homeless, they're cutting that out too. If you're a foster child and hit that age of 18, you used to can get SNAP, they're cutting that out. That does not mean that you can't get SNAP. That just means that you're going to have to go a different route as an adult going on by your income, okay? Not as a foster child that had hit that age limit. So when I say that it's more complicated than black and white or no check, no vote type attitude, that's what I mean. So you're going to have to stay on point, stay on top, and make sure you read those little letters that they're sending to you. Now, certain states are trying to compensate, okay, and trying to help out people. And a lot of food banks are trying to do that too. So even if you can't get SNAP, you can go to get food from food banks if you're going over and having a bad situation. Okay, drop your pride, go to the food bank, get some food for yourself, your partner, your family. Okay? Because your mind works better when you got something in your stomach. This is just scientific proof. This is just logic that I'm telling you. All right? So that's the deal on SNAP. Yes, there are changes. Yes, if you're 65 now, 55, they extended it to 54 at first. Now they extended it all the way to 65. That you have to have 20 hours of work per week in order to continue to get SNAP. Like I said, there are certain exceptions to the rules. Most of those exceptions to rules are common sense. Okay, so you don't have to put in a comment, but I'm disabled. These are for people that don't have any type of illness that's fine, just living off the system, okay? So, and like I said, you're going to have to work with your caseworker, let them know, update, do not lie, Don't use fraud. Let them know of your new changing circumstances, and you're probably going to be able to hit that exception to the rule where you can continue to get your SNAP. Number 2, this is a bonus. I keep seeing all over the place $2,000 stimulus check. Okay. Yes, they have to pay back the money owed through tariffs. Okay. Yes, Supreme Court has ruled they have to pay all that money. Here's the deal. If you are an American citizen, or you live in America, you had to pay and still are paying, in some cases, all that extra money for the products, when Trump was playing yo-yo with the tariffs. Okay? As an American citizen, I'm going to say this, please pay attention. You do not get or qualify for those stimulus checks that's going back to the companies. That's right. Walmart, Amazon, okay, eBay. They getting all that stimulus checks, okay? But you, as an American citizen, are not. I cannot say it any better than that. I don't care what type of, how they're trying to throw it at you, or someone may be trying to insinuate that the American citizens could be, one day will have a stimulus check. No. Okay? Just be logical. They're cutting your food stamps. They're cutting your Medicaid. Okay? They're trying to cut anything they can. They're trying to make it that you can only stay in HUD for 1 year. Okay? Or Section 8 or HUD for 1 year. That's what they're working on. Okay? These are things that are part of the big, beautiful bill that was passed. That's why so many Democrats are trying to fight against it, and some Republicans too. But it passed, so it's law. Okay? So, you really think they're going to try to give you money when they're taking money away from you? This is common sense stuff. Okay? No, they're not trying to give you any money. All this money, yes, even though you and I, as American citizens, are living in America, had to pay all that price, we don't get the money back. The corporations are getting the money back. Walmart, Target, Hobby Lobby, all those places, even though they didn't have to suffer and deal with that extra money, we had to pay for it to get our products. They're getting the tariffs money and stimulus checks back. I can't make it any more clear than that. Anything else that they're telling you is hearsay BS. Okay? It is not law. It is not rule. What is law and what is going on is those stimulus checks you're hearing about, regardless $2,000, $1,500, something like that, is strictly going to corporations, not the American citizens that had to pay the difference. I hope that explains things. I hope that clears it out. And I hope y'all have a great day. Okay? And like I said, there are changes, and it's in the big, beautiful bill, and it's supposed to hit every state in the United States by the end of the year, after midterms, because they don't want to affect their midterms and let you realize what's going on. So hopefully they'll get that Republican vote. So these are the games politics play. But by the end of the year, yes, you ain't buying no sweets with that SNAP. And I'm not worried about that, because I need to lose weight anyway. Hell, I'm 61. I gotta watch my weight now. All right. All right, y'all. Please stay safe out there, and I'll rap to y'all later. Peace.